Hello and welcome in, folks. A little bit late today, had some technical issues. My keyboard cam down here was not working, but I guess it's not too important for the format, but I don't know, it's how it looks, right? Keyboard cam's been a part of stream since day one, so gotta keep it going here. Don't know what fixed it. Restarting everything, I guess, but hey, we're here now, so welcome in. Hello, hello. Let me get my chat all set up here. This email never works. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Happy Wednesday to you as well. You ready for a opening line stream? Ready to read some books and talk about them? Let's pop on over there. We got Amazon pulled up in the background. So y'all know the format. Give me your favorite books. I will pull them up on Amazon. We'll read the opening lines, and then I'll give you my perspective as an author as we break down the opening lines, kind of see what they're doing, why they work, how they attract readers into the book. Bert, good morning. Good to see you. Sung Moon, welcome in. You made it early today. Grim Van Thorm, let's see. You said The 2-Week Curse. Write that down. By Michael Chatfield. All right, first one recorded. This email never works. You said Firestorm, didn't we? Did we do Firestorm? Yeah. Yeah, we cycled through the trilogy. You just coming back into book one. Sung Moon, no, you're not late. You made it in. Let's see, I thought I saw another one. There it is. They both die at the end. And who's that by? I guess it'll come up by. That's a pretty distinct title, huh? Adam Silvera. Alrighty. Alright, so folks, feel free to throw your recommendation up here if you haven't already. But we've got a good 2 to start with. So I'll just go ahead, I guess, dive into it. If everybody's doing good today, pleased to have you. Thanks for joining me. So let's get this bad boy going. All right. Oh, it's a lit RPG, isn't it? Didn't expect that. We don't get a lot of these on here. Appreciate the rec. Let's grab the cover, get the sample up. Alright, there's our cover. I think y'all can see that, right? Kind of a galaxy fire looking thing. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Nice image though. Raffi, you're not late, my guy. You made it in. That's all that counts. Happy to have you here. Sung Moon, you were sitting ready so you'd be on time. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining in. We got a race this weekend. It's gonna be fun. The Phantom Toll Booth, Raffi. I think I have actually read that many, many years ago. But we can throw it on in here. No worries. All right, well, hey, we got book 1 up, so I'm going to go ahead and dive into it. But folks, if you have a book that you want me to read the opening lines of, I can do that. So please just drop the title in chat, and I will add it to the list. Oh, you're good, Raf. You're good. I might have never read it. I'm not sure, man. I think I have, but I'm not certain. Anyway, first book of the day, guys. Let's do it. A Ten Realms Tale, The 2-Week Curse by Michael Chatfield. A lit RPG. We don't get a lot of these in here, so I'm excited about it. They call it the 2-Week Curse. What was originally being called an Age of Heroes has now taken a drastic turn for the worse, the news reporter said. Those in the room watched her, more out of boredom and the fact she wasn't another dude. She probably smells clean. Oh. She probably smells clean. Rugrat put together his rifle, working the action as a few in the room grinned and snorted. And that is not the downright creepiest thing I've heard all day, Honcho said, gliding by as he walked out of the room with his gear checked and his gun in hand. Not sure how happy TikTok will be about me reading some of these words, but we're going to get through it anyway. Better than being around you sweaty nutsacks, Rugrat yelled. Yeah, TikTok's going to get mad at me for this one. Like she'd let you within 10 feet. Eric West checked his pouches and massive bag that held all manner of drugs, tourniquets, bandages, and other medical supplies. Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep tripping up on this one because TikTok's going to get mad at me for a lot of this. This is a classic lit RPG start. Let me see if I can scroll through to something that's a little bit less, I don't know, triggering for TikTok's censors. Alright, we'll go to the back cover blurb instead. Jack Ann, thank you for that suggestion. I will put it in. Eldest by Christopher Paolini. You are jumping deep into the series there. Paolini, sorry. Need to say the name right. Alright, we'll do the back cover blurb on this one. You're good, Grim. You're good. Most things are okay, but I do feel that TikTok's going to get mad at me for a lot of that content. So I'm going to stop reading that opening before they suppress the stream. But we'll do the back cover blurb. So it's Isekai Portal Fantasy with heavy crafting. 2 soldiers are transported to a world of magic, cultivation, and stat screens and have to rely on old skills and newly learned ones to survive. Eric West served as a combat medic alongside his Marine buddy Jimmy Rugrat Rodriguez. After being marked with the 2-week curse, they have just 14 days until they're teleported from their lives. No one else that has been cursed has ever returned. All of them have started seeing stat screens and being able to do things that should only be possible in games. When the curse teleports them to the first realm, they're going to have to learn, and quickly. Strength is security here, and they'll have to use all of their newfound skills and abilities combined with all their training and knowledge to forge their own path. Interesting. Okay, so that reminds me, I mean, it's a classic isekai setup, right? It reminds me of, there's another one, but I can't remember the title of it. It's like I'm not going to botch the title by half saying it. Interesting. I apologize, Grim, that we're not reading the full beginning of it. But I can tell you, I can give you a quick analysis from what I read, which is dropping us directly into the scene on that one, giving us some dialogue from the characters. It felt like it was trying to sell us on personality initially, hook us on a little bit of banter between the main characters. And then I imagine there would have been an inciting event happening very soon thereafter. But yes, thank you for recommending it. I apologize I couldn't dive more deeply into it, but let's grab our next one. Oh, and we have another one to add to the list here from S. Milos. You said, I don't even know how to say that. Secht by Neil Schusterman. We've done some Schusterman before on here. But thank you for recommending it. I will add it to the list, and we will do it. Make sure I spelled it right. Sychte. All right. And Speaker of the Dead, another suggestion by Orson Scott Card. That's a couple books into the Ender's Game trilogy, yeah? Or not trilogy. I don't know how many books it is, actually. Ender's Game series, I suppose. Alright, but the next book that was suggested was They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I've heard a lot about this one, but I have never read it. Alright, so there's our cover. It's kind of nice. I like it. Never Night by Jay Kristoff, says Katie. Alright, added to the list. Thank you very much. James on YT, I have read Aragon by Christopher Paolini. In fact, Eldest by Christopher Paolini is on the list today. But no, I'd say I'm a fan of the Inheritance Cycle. It's good stuff. Okay, a couple more books just came in. Let me throw those on the list, and then we'll do a few more reading here. I got Nevernight by Kristoff, Rising Star, City of Sin. Not heard of that one. That's half the fun of this format, though, y'all. You introduced me to so many books that I haven't heard. Cian is you recommended Ruination, a League of Legends story. Is that a book? I've got it added in here. Just not sure if it's a book, but I guess worst case scenario, we can look it up on Amazon and see what they say. All right, let's read the one we got pulled up right now. They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Let's see what we think. That's cool. I love when there's like specialized, an interior title page, I guess you could call it, with different art. It's fun looking. All right, I guess this is the beginning of the story. Didn't have a chapter 1 or anything. Might be a prologue. Don't know, but we're gonna read it. September 5th, 2017, Mateo Torres, 12:22 a.m. Deathcast is calling with a warning of a lifetime. I'm going to die today. Forget that. Warning is too strong a word, since warning suggests something can be avoided, like a car honking at someone who's crossing the street when it isn't their light, giving them the chance to step back. This is more of a heads up. The alert, a distinct and endless gong, like a church bell 1 block away, is blasting from my phone on the other side of the room. I'm freaking out already, 100 thoughts immediately drowning out everything around me. I bet this chaos is what a first-time skydiver feels as she's plummeting out of a plane, or a pianist playing his first concert. Not that I will ever know for sure. It's crazy. 1 minute ago I was reading yesterday's blog entry from Count Downers, where Deckers chronicle their final hours through statuses and photos via live feeds. This particular one about a college junior trying to find a home for his golden retriever. And now I'm going to die. I'm going to... No. Yes. Yes. My chest tightens. I'm dying today. That's a heck of an opening. Not exactly the happiest content, but very interesting, right? Sung Moon, you said the first page totally spoils the end. Well, I think the cover, the title itself, might spoil the end. Interesting, y'all. We're gonna analyze the text a little bit, but can we talk about a website, a blog entry where people detail their final hours once they've gotten this death alert, whatever it is, and the one the main character was just looking at is about someone trying to find a home for their golden retriever? Oh, dagger right to the heart. That's rude. That's sad. Boy, early in the day to start with the sad stuff. But interesting. Okay, so if we're analyzing the opening lines here, this one is very much getting us with a hook, plot hook right off the bat. It's, catching our attention with that big, bold, interesting idea of I'm going to die today. And it makes us ask, how do they know? Why? What is this system that's notifying them? Why is this system infallible and certainly correct? These are all perfect hooks that the story is putting in our head, making us ask ourselves questions, because if you ask yourself questions about a story, you're going to want to stick around to read more. So very good job to the author for getting those hooks in there early. I also just clocked that in the opening here, it's 12:22 a.m. So I guess this main character, the day is just rolled over to a new morning, and then they get the death cast, as they're calling it, telling them they're going to die on that day. What a sad thought, and an interesting premise. All right. Thank you very much for recommending. That's a really interesting one. Maybe a bit too sad off the bat for my taste. But it's got 41,000 reviews on Amazon, so clearly people like it. I saw a couple more books we can throw on here real quick. We're entering the territory where I won't be able to get to all of these today, but I will throw them on there and we'll see what we can do. So Lovely Bones was recommended by Alice Sebold. That's another one I'm aware of but haven't read. And then I think someone was saying Fang Volume 1, I think it was. Who's that by? Have we done Gideon the Ninth? We have done Gideon the Ninth, but it's been a while. So we can throw it back on here. I actually specifically remember the opening. It's very interesting. And Big Colt, you've recommended Crow Road by Ian Banks. All right, thank you. We are entering territory where I have too big a list to get to on today's stream, but if I don't get your book in today, come back next Wednesday when we do this one again, mention it to me and mention that we didn't get to it, and I'll give you priority on the list. For now, though, next up is The Phantom Tollbooth, an absolute classic that I may or may not have read as a child. We're gonna find out. I can't remember. This is going to be interesting because this is going to be a very different book than what we typically look at. Typically, we're looking at more of like adult market fiction. This is more of a timeless classic, I guess, as it says here. This listing doesn't have an ebook version, so there's no preview. So let me see if we can find one with a preview. Uh-oh, come on, you got to have an ebook somewhere. Interesting. Some books don't have ebooks, but it's very rare these days. But I'm not seeing one here. I saw an audio edition. If it doesn't have an ebook edition, oh, there's a Kindle edition. There's the sample. We got there, folks. We got it. We have the technology. All right, so here's our cover. Very children's book art vibes, not in a bad way, in a cozy way, honestly. Sends me back to simpler days, huh? I also like the shade of blue. It's a nice blue. All right, we'll skip the intro because I want to read the prose. Come on. There we go. Chapter 1. All right, so Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Juster. And here we go. Here's Chapter 1, Milo. There was once a boy named Milo who didn't know what to do with himself. Not just sometimes, but always. When he was in school, he longed to be out. And when he was out, he longed to be in. On the way, he thought about coming home. And coming home, he thought about going. Wherever he was, he wished he were somewhere else. And when he got there, he wondered why he'd bothered. Nothing really interested him, least of all the things that should have. It seemed to me that almost everything is a waste of time, he remarked one day as he walked dejectedly home from school. I can't see the point in learning to solve useless problems, or subtracting turnips from turnips, or knowing where Ethiopia is or how to spell February. And, since no one bothered to explain otherwise, he regarded the process of seeking knowledge as the greatest waste of all time. Oh, and we get some art to go with it. Milo's not very happy looking, is he? And as he and his unhappy thoughts hurried along, for a while he was never anxious to be where he was going. He liked to get there as quickly as possible. It seemed a great wonder that the world, which was so large, could sometimes feel so small and empty. And worst of all, he continued sadly, there's nothing for me to do, nowhere I'd care to go, and hardly anything worth seeing. He punctuated his last thought with such a deep sigh that a house sparrow singing nearby stopped and rushed home to be with his family. That's a pretty funny line. I like that. Okay, let's talk about this opening. This is a really different one. Yeah, Jack Ann, we are on a roll today with the melancholy tones so far. We'll see if we can change that up with the next one on the list. But this is really interesting. This is a very different. Obviously, it's a children's book, so you've totally different rules, right? Especially rules that I'm not familiar with. I don't know how to write children's books. I've not tried. But it's like an atypical hook in this one. It almost is hooking you with like an inverse idea. Typically, the story hook is supposed to like really drag you in, catch your attention, and one of the most common ways to do that would be with like a dramatic character, an interesting character. This one is almost being like, this character is not interested in anything and has no passions, which should come off as boring, but I think it's trying to push it all the way around back into like, well, why not? What's going on there? It's trying to like almost trick us into asking questions about it. Or, secondarily, I'm wondering if it almost is making us feel a little bit bad for him. Kind of like, because I mean, this is how I'm feeling personally, is like, wow, I want him to move beyond this. I want to see him grow and find something he has an interest in, because everybody should have hobbies and things they're interested in. Interesting. Children's books are a little different like that. I will say, I guess, you could say it's soft, like, it's almost like soft rage baiting in a way, personally, because, like, as a fan of learning random things, it does bother me to see a sentence like, I don't see the purpose in learning where Ethiopia is, or how to spell February. It's almost like, it makes me want to show him that purpose, right? So, good job to the author. I think those count as story hooks. I'd be interested to read further. I kind of want to know where it goes from here. So yeah, there's a quick analysis of the opening lines of the Phantom Toll Booth. Thank you very much for this one. I think it was Slindy. Were you the one that recommended this? I didn't catch the name. I think it was you. But thank you very much for that one. Let's move on, guys. Oh, it was Raffi. Thank you, Raffi. Lily, yes, you can submit The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I don't know if we'll get to it today, but if I don't, please, next Wednesday we'll be doing the format again. Come back and mention it again, and that we didn't get to it, and it will have priority on the list. We'll make sure we get to it the second time. Until then, though, folks, the next one that was recommended was Eldest. Book, 4 of the Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini? Interesting to start midway through. Oh, it's just book 2. What am I doing? 4 is what, Brissinger, I think? I don't know why I thought it was book 4. Anyway, a classic that I have not read in many years, and I'm probably due for a reread on. I'd be interested to see how my opinions on it change, reading it 10 plus years later. James on YT, you were asking about Aragon earlier. Well, we got book 2 here for you. Close, right? Raffi, you forgot about Eldest? I know a lot of folks complained that it had a little too much of the training montage arc in it. It kind of took too long to go places. I recall liking it, but I do recall it took its time getting into the story. Tide and Tara, good to see you. Good morning and welcome in. Hope you're doing well. And also a quick thank you to Jack Ann. Other name wasn't available. Tide and Tara and Coach Kyle. Y'all, thank you for the heart me's. I appreciate y'all. And Coach Kyle, welcome back, my friend. I hope you're doing good. Good to see you again. Oh, Emerson, you just started a reread on this a little while ago. How you liking it? Rock on. Brood loves Sprunky on YT. I can't say the website name, lest I offend the TikTok gods. Hello. Good to see you, my friend, and welcome in. Oh, per Olav. I'm okay when people say I look like Andrew Luck or Asmongold, but the Tate references do hurt a little bit. It's all good. It's all good. Jack Ann, you said you liked this series. You felt it was reminiscent of Lord of the Rings in the sense that it took its time to tell its story. I can see that. Now, that's a hefty comparison, though. I'm rereading Fellowship right now, y'all, and it's... God, what a book. So good. Alright, we'll skip through the synopsis here. Alright, so I believe this is Chapter 1, A Twin Disaster. Tied into... Ronnie, good morning. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. We're doing Book 2 of the Inheritance Cycle here as our next book. Our fourth one on the list today, too. We're moving through them. Titan Terror, you were going to ask if I've heard of Critique Circle or Scribophile. I was on Scribophile way back in the day. I really liked it back then. I haven't checked in on it lately, but it was a great website for critiquing. Beautiful software that it had built in for critiquing and marking up manuscripts. So I was a big fan of it. I don't know Critique Circle, probably something new. But I've been out of the critique game for a while now. But I do have very fond memories of Scribophile. I really enjoyed using it back in the day. Brood on YT, you said you love my videos? Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Jake Hartman, good to see you. Welcome in. And Junie, you said you look like my future favorite creator. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Now, let's do Eldest, as recommended by chat. Chapter 1, A Twin Disaster. We're going into Book 2 here, but this is interesting. Book 2's play by different rules in terms of hooking the reader. So we'll talk about that after we read it. Lily, you like the Totoro mug? Thank you. I like to use it just for the cat bus or the massive Totoro face just right there. I think it's a fun way to light up the morning and spill coffee on myself as I show it off. Okay. A Twin Disaster. The songs of the dead are the lamentations of the living. So thought Aragon as he stepped over a twisted and hacked Urgle, listening to the keening of women who removed loved ones from the blood-muddled ground of Farthendur. Behind him, Saphira delicately skirted the corpse, her glittering blue scales the only color in the gloom that filled the hollow mountain. It was 3 days since the Varden and dwarves had fought the Urgles for possession of Trondheim, the mile-high, conical city nestled in the center of Farthendur, but the battlefield was still strewn with carnage. The sheer number of bodies had stymied their attempts to bury the dead. In the distance, a mountainous fire glowed sullenly by Farthendur's wall, where the Urgles were being burned. No burial or honored resting place for them. Since waking to find his wound healed by Angela, Aragon had tried 3 times to assist in the recovery effort. On each occasion he had been racked by terrible pains that seemed to explode from his spine. The healers gave him various potions to drink. Arya and Angela said that he was perfectly sound. Nevertheless, he hurt. Nor could Saphira help, only share his pain as it rebounded across their mental link. Okay, this is an interesting way to kick it off, right? It is a book 2, so it's right back into exactly where book 1 left off, which I suppose helps that the author provided a synopsis back in here of book 1. So you can kind of, the story so far, which is nice. I appreciate a story that jumps right back into it. There's nothing wrong with that. I almost, though, would like a little more of a lead-in hook from this. It really feels like it's literally just the next chapter after the end of book 1. Nothing wrong with that. I would like a little more of a hook, though, because we're just jumping right into, like, scenery descriptions. Nothing wrong with that. So what's really serving as the primary hook here is this first sentence. The songs of the dead are the lamentations of the living. Which is an interesting sentence. I feel like I'd like to sit and think about that a little bit. And kind of parse what we're talking about there. But yeah, it's interesting. Book 2 is really interesting. What I did in one of my book 2s that I thought was an interesting way, because you don't really... It's very different writing a book 2 to a book 1. I took it back to the climactic moment of book 1 and showed it again from the antagonist's perspective, which I thought was an interesting way to do it. A little bit hard to do that in this one. Can spoil. I don't know how much into spoiler territory we want to get, but it'd be hard to go back to the antagonist's POV for the climactic moment of book 1. Interesting. Just jumps right back into it, I guess, is my main analysis there. Gives us a lot of descriptions of the battlefield, a little bit of follow-up of what happened. I don't really know what more to say about it than that. Kind of just drops you right back in. I did like the language, though. It did remind me... I see why you say it was reminiscent of Lord of the Rings. You got names like Farthendur in there. I know Paolini gets a lot of flack for copying Lord of the Rings and Star Wars in some ways. I could kind of see it with that naming structure, but I don't know, kind of liked it too. Like I said, I'm due for a reread on this, so I would like to jump back into this series maybe later this winter. But thank you for suggesting it. That was a fun one. I appreciate it. All right, on we go. Tori, I have not read Murtaugh. I think I really need to. I kind of just it came out and I was just like really busy. I kind of never got to it. I definitely need to. Also, I saw there was a comment. Where was it? Michael, you just finished Paragon 3, my dude? Oh my god, dude. You are tearing through it. I apologize. You've now caught up to what's published in that series. Book 4 and 5 are finished, so it's Book 4 is with the audio production company. Book 5 is in editing. We'll try to get those out to you as soon as we can. But thank you for reading through Book 3. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. And you said you haven't been here too often because of law school? No worries, my guy. You're working hard. It's all good. We're happy to have you whenever you can make it in. All right. Let's see. I saw there were a couple more recs for books. Red Rising. Someone asked if we had done Red Rising. Yes, we've done Red Rising several times on here, but my rule is if we go one stream without doing it, I'm happy to do it on the next one. So I can add Red Rising to the list. I like the start of Red Rising a lot. I think we've read it like 3 times on this format for stream, but it's a good opening in my opinion. It's a brutal one, man. It hits hard. Jesse, you said Blood of My Monster. All right, by Rena Kent. So, folks, we have too many books now to get to in today's stream, but if you come back, we do this every Wednesday. I stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. Central. Every Wednesday, we do this format, so if you come back on the next one and mention that the title was on the list for the last stream, we didn't get to it, I will give it priority. So we'll definitely do it on the next one. But our next title right now, I don't even know how to say this one, y'all. I've never heard of it, but I've heard of Neil Shusterman. Oh, it's Scythe. It just came through as a typo. That's really funny. When it was offered up, it just had a typo in it, and I just fully did not process that it was Scythe by Neil Shusterman. Yeah, we've done this one before. It's still got a good opening. Let's check out Scythe again. First of all, the cover, y'all. What a good cover on this one. Destiny, you said the hook of what second book is really good? Tabs coming here with the Inheritance fandom. I remember enjoying it back in the day. I need to read Murtaugh. I need to reread the whole series. I had so much fun. Oh, Golden Sun, Destry. Gotcha. Yeah, the sequel to Red Rising, I believe. Rock on. Keeve, you said, what's your favorite book? I have like 5 favorite books, and it kind of rotates between which one's at the top at any given time. It's typically Jurassic Park. Hitchhiker's Guide's up there as well. But I'm rereading Fellowship of the Ring right now, and it's just such a beautiful book. Just like taking my time with it, going through it real slow. Lovely book. I'm really, really a big fan. Lau, how do you define a good book? Well, it's personal. You know, art is subjective. I think what defines a good book is if you enjoy it, really. It's hard to put objective measuring on it, you know? Tara, hello. Welcome in. You're just in time for us to do the opening lines of Scythe by Neil Shusterman. If I recall, it's a heck of an opening. All right. We must, by law, keep a record of the innocents we kill. And as I see it, they're all innocents, even the guilty. All right, I'm going to pause it right there. We'll read more, but that is a very strong 2 opening sentences, right? I always talk about hooks. It's about hooking the reader. It is such a strong hook to say, they're all innocents, even the guilty. That instantly makes you go, elaborate on that. I want to hear more. It just puts that little seed in the back of your head that keeps you reading. So, let's read through, and I won't interrupt this time. We must, by law, keep a record of the innocents we kill. And as I see it, They're all innocents, even the guilty. Everyone is guilty of something, and everyone still harbors a memory of childhood innocence, no matter how many layers of life wrap around it. Humanity is innocent, humanity is guilty, and both states are undeniably true. We must, by law, keep a record. It begins on day one of apprenticeship, but we do not officially call it killing. It's not socially or morally correct to call it as such. It is, and has always been, gleaming, named for the way the poor would trail behind farmers in ancient times, taking the stray stalks of grain left behind. It was the earliest form of charity. A scythe's work is the same. Every child is told from the day he or she is old enough to understand that the scythes provide a crucial service for society. Ours is the closest thing to a sacred mission the modern world knows. Perhaps that is why, by law, we must keep a record. Heck of an opening, y'all. I really, really dig it. Okay, yes, I thought, I was wondering here. Last time we read it, I don't know if we skipped it or if that copy of it didn't have that little excerpt from the journal, because last time we did this on stream, we started with this, with chapter 1. And I remember that being a really good opening. So this is actually cool. We kind of got to do a new opening on it. And it was good. I mean, both are really good. There's a reason this book is so well recommended. This writing is just beautiful. Right off the bat. It's beautiful, it's thoughtful, it's interesting. I talked earlier about how it's hooking us with the they're all innocents, even the guilty. I like that a lot. And this is just so full of hooks. It makes me ask all these questions about, like, why do the scythes have to go around and kill the innocent and the guilty? What's their purpose? Why are they there? Like, I want to read this more. And that's what hooks are about. They make you ask questions and go, I need to read more. And it tricks you into reading more of the book. And then you're a chapter or two in and you're like, you know what? I'm here for the long haul. Let's go. You've earned my attention for the whole book. That's how a good opening goes. And Scythe certainly does that. So well done, Neil Schusterman. Let's see, how many reviews is it rocking? Oh, cool, 20,000 on Amazon. Yeah, it's doing all right. Rock on. We do that one every other week or so on stream. It's a very popular book, but it's a very good book. Tara, we can add your book to the list. We do have too long of a list to get to it all today, but if you come back on the next time we do this stream, which will be next Wednesday, and mention that your book was on the list last time and we didn't get to it, I will give you priority on it. That is always my promise. All right, so next one. This is interesting, y'all. I'm glad this got recommended. Speaker of the Dead by Orson Scott Card. I read Ender's Game a long time ago and quite enjoyed it. But I've never read beyond that in the series. So, okay, this is book 2 of the Quintet. Don't often see things described as quintets. These days we just say series for the most part. Alright, skip the intro. We want to get to the prose. Wow, that's a long intro. Will there be a sample in here? Or is it all intro? Okay, got a list of people pronouncing foreign names. Holy cow, there's a lot of prep work on this one. Alright, prologue. We made it, guys. We made it here. Alright, we'll pull up the cover real quick. Well, a very sci-fi cover there with a vaguely recognizable superstructure or spaceship of some sort. Such a classic sci-fi cover. Personally, I'm not a fan, but they keep doing them. They seem to work. So, let's look into... We don't do a lot of sci-fi on here, you know? A lot of fantasy books get recommended, which, I mean, I guess that's, you know, the genre I write, so that makes sense. But sci-fi is good, too. We just don't get them recommended too much. So I'm excited to do this one. Let's look at Speaker of the Dead by Orson Scott Card. In the year 1830, after the formation of Starways Congress, a robot scout ship sent a report by Ansible. The planet it was investigating was well within the parameters of human life. The nearest planet with any kind of population pressure was Bahia, Starways Congress granted them the exploration license. So it was that the first humans to see the New World were Portuguese by language, Brazilian by culture, and Catholic by creed. In the year 1886, they disembarked from their shuttle, crossed themselves, and named the planet Lusitania, the ancient name of Portugal. They set about cataloging the flora and fauna. 5 days later, they realized that the little forest-dwelling animals that they had called, oh, don't ask me to pronounce things in Portuguese, porquinhos, piggies, were not animals at all. For the first time since the xenocide of the buggers by the monstrous Ender, humans had found intelligent alien life. The piggies were technologically primitive, but they used tools and built houses and spoke a language. It is another chance God has given us, declared Arch-Cardinal Pio of Bahia. We can be redeemed for the destruction of the buggers. The members of Starways Congress worshipped many gods, or none, but they agreed with the Arch-Cardinal. Lusitania would be settled from Bahia, I'm bad at that, and therefore under Catholic license as tradition demanded. But the colony could never spread beyond a limited area or exceed a limited population, and it was bound above all by one law: the piggies were not to be disturbed. Okay, so instantly setting up some stakes. I would almost have preferred to start with chapter 1, because this was almost not prosy enough. It was just kind of a little bit of background. Interesting though. It's interesting how, the one thing that's really distracting me with this, it's interesting how much of a slur buggers sounds like in response to the alien race that, I guess, sorry, spoilers, we said it in the prologue, was destroyed in Ender's Game. I honestly tripped up reading it. I was like, wow, I know that's fictional, but it really sounds like a slur. Anyway, it's this as a prologue, as an introduction to the book, sets up an immediate hook with just like, we found alien life once again, and this time we're not going to go to war with it. Makes me really worried for what comes in the rest of the book. Like I said though, I wish I had started with chapter 1, because the prologue was a little bit description heavy. But we start with the first prose in the book, so interesting. I think I'd be intrigued to read a bit more. That's a good setup. But yeah, thank you for recommending it. Mango Dogs, you said you saw my interview on the Crit RPG podcast. Hey, rock on, man. Thanks for stopping by. It's a pleasure to have you. I hope you enjoyed the interview. It was a lot of fun to do. I'm honored they had me on. Parrish, could you find a Madness of Angels? I don't remember how it begins, but it's one of my favorites. We can throw it on the list here. The list is too long to finish today on stream, but if I do not get to it, which I probably won't, next Wednesday when I do the format again, remind me, and we will give it priority on the list. Make sure we get to it. Dune is not on the list, Junie, but I believe we've done it before, but happy to do it again. Do I like a prologue? Asks Get Off My Lawn Guy. I like prologues when they are there for a reason. I think it's easy to have a prologue just... There was a time, 5-6 years ago and before, when prologues were like a trendy thing and everybody was doing prologues, and it got to a point where every story kind of had a prologue just because that was the thing to do, and I think it took too long to get into the main story. So I like prologues when they serve a purpose and they're not just there just because. So there needs to be a reason that your prologue is not just chapter 1. At the end of the day, though, if it's good writing, if it's good storytelling, if it's got hooks, I'm here for it. So I'm not going to get too picky. Dharma Rao on YT, hello and welcome in. Good to see you. I have not been to India, but I do have some friends that I met traveling abroad who live in Mumbai that I stay in contact with. And if I ever go, I'm going to stay with them. Be very excited for it. Ocean World by JP Lando says, I am Super Idol. I've never heard of that one. There's a lot of books out there I guess I haven't heard of. I should stop saying when I haven't, but I appreciate it. It's probably Landau on the author name. Sam Vaz Normandy, you're reading Pale Horse by Piers Anthony. Is that like a biography or something? No, doesn't seem like it. Okay. Interesting. I have not read The Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. There's so many good books out there, y'all. So many things that I would like to read that I just haven't had the time for. But speaking of, let's do another title here. We have Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. Dramatic cover on it, y'all. Oh, very cool, actually. It's a little bit hard to see here, so let me go back real quick and zoom in on it so you guys can see it better. But that mask is super cool on the character. I guess it is a person. I thought it was a statue maybe at first. What a cool mask. It's like gold with like blood tears coming out of the eye, and then almost like a what's that material called? Porcelain chin on it. And another blood smear, maybe damage on this side. Very interesting. That's some cool art, man. Props to the cover artist. Slindy, you're heading out to get your hair cut? Hey, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Enjoy your trip this weekend and go looking fresh. Gotta get that hair trimmed up. I did mine today. How's it look? We doing good? You like my styling? Nevernight is very Tolkien-esque, you say, Jack Ann? Well, that sounds good to me. I'm a huge Tolkien fan. Oh, even got a map off the bat. Wait, have we done this? This map looks vaguely familiar to me. I'm not sure. Alright, well, this doesn't look familiar, so we'll read it anyway. Oh, Sleep Token. I thought it was a typo for Tolkien. Oh, interesting. Sleep Token-esque. Well, that's giving me some heavy metal vibes to it. I'm here for it. Rock on. Vonda, you said best new sci-fi? I don't read a lot of sci-fi. The last sci-fi that I read was the Expanse series, and I absolutely loved it. I actually still have several books in it to read. Highly recommend that. But I'm primarily on the fantasy side of things, so I apologize. I'm out of date on sci-fi. But I can talk to you about fantasy. All right. Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. Here's our chapter 1. The boy was beautiful. Caramel smooth skin, honeydew sweet smile, black curls on the right side of unruly. Strong hands and hard muscle, and his eyes, oh daughters, his eyes, 5,000 fathoms deep, pulling you in to laugh even as he drowned you. Ooh, what a description. That's really good. I see the Sleep Token vibes instantly. His lips brushed hers, warm and curling soft. They'd stood entwined on the bridge of whispers, a purple blush pressing against the curves of the sky. His hands had roamed her back, current tingling on her skin. The feather-light brush of his tongue against hers set her shivering, heart-racing, insides aching with want. They drifted apart like dancers before the music stopped, vibration still thrumming along their strings. She'd opened her eyes, found him staring back in the smoky light. A canal murmured beneath them, its sluggish flow bleeding out into the ocean. Just as she wished to, just as she must, praying she wouldn't drown. Her last and never night in this city. A part of her didn't want to say goodbye, but before she left, she'd wanted to know. She'd owed herself that, at least. Are you sure? He asked. She looked up into his eyes then. Took him by the hand. I'm sure, she whispered. Okay, that's interesting. It's a little bit of a snippet before it looks like we get to the present day. It's maybe a memory. Maybe a flashback or something. But I'm going to read a bit of the present day in here as well. Derek Bourne. Hello. Welcome in, my friend. How you been? How the dinosaurs doing? Skipping past the asterisk. The man was repugnant. Wonderful contrast there with our flashback. I don't know how to say that, sclerosis skin? Sclerosis skin, a shallow chin lost in folds of stubbled fat, a sheen of spittle at his mouth, whiskey's kiss scrawled across cheeks and nose and his eyes. Oh, daughters, his eyes, blue as the sunburned sky, glittering like stars in the still of true dark. Okay, we gotta talk about something here. This is mimicking the prose of the opening of the intro. How cool is that? Look, go back here real quick. The boy was beautiful is that opening line. The man was repugnant is the second opening line. Caramel smooth skin, honeydew sweet smile, black curls on the right side of unruly, strong hands and hard muscle, and his eyes, oh daughters, his eyes. Skip to this one. Sclerosis skin, a shallow chin lost in folds of stubbled fat, a sheen of spittle at his mouth, whiskey's kiss crawled across his cheeks and nose, and his eyes, oh daughters, his eyes. Interesting. That's cool. I enjoy what they're doing there. Props to you, Jay Kristoff. That's a fun little playing with of language. Very nice. Interesting. This is beautiful writing, y'all. There was some description I wanted to call out in here. His eyes 5,000 fathoms deep, pulling you in to laugh even as he drowned you. Ooh, that's a good description, man. I love that. That's such a good description. That can lean into the side of like romance and like yearning. Can also lean back around the other way into like horror. And I don't know how to feel about it. It's beautiful and it's dark at the same time. That's super cool, man. Beautiful writing from Kristoff. I'm a fan. I would say, what is this about? I'm interested in this. The first in an epic new fantasy series from New York Times bestselling author Jay Kristoff. In a land where the sun almost never sets, a fledgling killer joins a school of assassins seeking vengeance against the powers who destroyed her family. Okay, so there's more plot there. I'm not going to read it all. The prose itself was very, very beautiful, which alone is kind of hooking me on it. I'm interested. I dig it. Thank you for recommending this, Kristoff. Killer opening. There's a lot of hooks going on in there, but honestly, the one that stood out to me most was just the beauty of the writing. Very powerful, strong prose there. Rock on, Kristoff. Angela? Or no, it's not Angela. Angelique. You said I have a ton of favorite books, but reread The Will of the Many has brought it back. Yeah, interesting. We've done that one on stream. That's a good book. That's a good book. And I said sclerosis correctly? Good. All right. I was just taking a guess at it. Titan Terry, writing question. Do you like to write in silence or listen to music? I like to listen to music when I write, simply because I spend so long writing each day that it's way too long to sit in silence. So yeah, music. I do a lot of metal when I'm writing, or general ambiance things without lyrics. Vonda, you said you think the description there about drowning, the 5,000 fathoms deep eyes that you could drown in, was meant to be romantic, but it's interesting how romance and horror can be similar. Yeah, I think so. Rock on. That was killer prose, man. I'm going to be on that prose all day. Y'all, I want to say real quick, a couple streams ago, we read the opening lines to this book, A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy L. Lynn. And I was my favorite one we've done on stream so far. I'll have to bust it out, but I bought the paperback of it from reading just the opening lines. Oh my god, was the prose good, and the concept very interesting. So I guess thank you for recommending books, y'all, because not only do we read and learn about the opening lines on here, but you introduced me to so many new books. My to-be-read list gets longer and longer. I blame you guys for that, and also my slow reading speed. Isabel, you like the cup? Well, thank you. It's actually my wife's. I steal it for stream because it's very fun on camera. Got to get the big Totoro vibes going on. That's just, I don't know. It's exciting. It's got good energy for the start of day off. I like it. Sleepy, you said, what's up? Hope you're doing well. It's been too long since I caught a stream. My man, glad to have you back. I hope you've been doing well. Thanks for stopping by, dude. Mango, you said, how do you handle when you just don't want to write or have writer's block? Do you plot your book? Yeah, so I have a couple tips for writer's block. I see some good questions here in chat. Thank you, everybody. I'll answer those real quick, and then we'll do another book or two before we call it quits today. Mango for writer's block. What I do, I have two techniques. Number one is I set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes, and then while that timer is going, I have to write in the world of my story, just nonstop, hands on keyboard writing. It's probably going to be bad writing, but we can edit it out later. What it really does is just forces me to write during that time, and I find by the time the timer's done, most of the time the creative center of my brain has like kick-started, right? It's like getting a push start on an old stick shift engine. It just kind of forces the creativity to flow, and it gets me moving with the writing. So that's number one. If I have writer's block, just set a timer right to the end of the timer, and by the end of it, often I'm good to go. My second method is, if that doesn't get you through it, consider if you are just working too much with it. Like, there is such a thing as being tired from your story. You've just been working on it creatively for too long. It's important to assess if your writer's block is actually a mental block or exhaustion. Because if it's exhaustion, the only thing to do is rest. And that's why it's important to know how many words you can write each day reliably and keep going. Because writing's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Good question, though. And do I plot my book? Yes, I do plot. I do what I have called it a skeleton outline. I'm sure there's other names for it. Basically, I do about a bullet point for each chapter, so that I know my route through the story. I can kind of navigate through it. But I leave the finer details for the moment, because personally, my best creative moments come in the moment actually writing. So I like to leave room for that. But there are different ways to plot, and you kind of have to just experiment and figure out, are you better with no planning ahead of time? Are you better with everything planned, or are you somewhere in between like I am? It's a personal thing. You just gotta kind of try all three and see where you land. I am Super Idol. You said book question. What hard magic book would you recommend? Hard magic. I haven't read many books with a hard magic system lately. I do prefer stuff with a soft magic system. Have you read Magician Apprentice by Raymond E. Feist? I'll throw it in chat. I think that's a good one. Raymond E. Feist. It's a classic. It's very old, but it's a good book. Quite liked it. Benai, you said your favorite book is 5 People You Meet in Heaven. If you haven't read it, you recommend it. I have heard of it. I have not read it. Thank you for recommending it. Vonda, you go back and you edit too much. How do you stop obsessing? You just got to move beyond it. You'll get better at it the more you do it. But just know that the first pass, the first draft, is you telling yourself the story, improving it, refining it. That's all for the editing and the second pass. The first drafts, enjoy the unexpectedness of the first draft. It's the only time that you as an author are going to get to enjoy the story, not necessarily knowing everything that's coming next. So enjoy it, I think. Where was it? It scrolled away. CJ Astria, author, welcome in. What do you write? Tell us about your genre, your books. You asked, are we looking at books? Yeah, so what we're doing today, this is a format I do every Wednesday. I take your book suggestions, I put them into Amazon, and then I pull them up and read the opening lines and analyze them from an author's perspective. I kind of tell you what I think the author was trying to do there, why the opening lines are good, where the hooks are, etc., etc. Just kind of a peek behind the veil, you could call it. And another book that we had recommended earlier was Rising Star, Book 1 of City of Sin. I've never heard of it, but we're pulling it up. Dramatic cover. That's actually really cool. I really like the cover. Can you see the silhouette in the person's eye? I'm trying to see if it'll zoom. It won't zoom for me. That's super cool, y'all. I'm assuming it's like the main character's eye and then like the antagonist reflected in it with fire all around him. That's a sick cover, man. Well, Amazon or TikTok wants me to do a CAPTCHA to prove that I am human and alive. Okay, successfully proved. Good news, everybody. I'm human and alive. Get off my lawn guy, you said, do you do any of your own books? I do. I do like to do those on stream. Thank you for asking. We'll do that. We'll do it next. We'll do one of mine after this. Thank you. 4-6, hello, and congrats on level 4, my friend. Hey. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here, buddy. Welcome in. Melissa Lee said, popping in to say good morning to everyone. Probably won't be here long. Hey, we're happy to have you while you're here, Melissa. Oh, and where was it? Was it Rafi? Yeah, there you go. Rafi, you asked this earlier and I missed it. Apologies. Y'all, if you ever ask a question and I miss it, please ask again. I do want to answer it, just sometimes chat scrolls too fast. Rafi, you said, is being derivative in writing a thing since all stories have been told? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Realistically, every story has already been told, but it hasn't been told by you. Your unique voice, your authorial voice, how you see things, how you describe it, that's what makes a story unique. Everything we read and consume influences our own storytelling, so I wouldn't worry about being derivative in any way. It's about being unique in the way you tell the story, even if the story itself is a mishmash of things that have already been done before. It's impossible to do something entirely original. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Someone, was it Junie? There you go. You realize that you work all day next Wednesday. You might not make it in. Junie, what did you recommend a book that we didn't get to, Junie? Because I can bump it up the list if you won't be here next Wednesday. But I'll also say, y'all, if you ever miss a stream or if you want to watch old ones, if you go over to YT, the website where you watch videos, I can't say the name, and look up author Alex Knight, my page there has recordings of all of my streams, so you can watch them all that I've ever done, going back to the beginning. Lovely Bones, Junie, that was yours. All right, we'll pop it up, or we'll pop it up to the front of the list so we can get it in for you before you have to run. I have moved it up, so we'll do that one after. Stick around for about 10 minutes, we'll get to it. But right now, we're going to do City of Sin, which, by the way, I see at the top of it, at the bottom, it's a translation. And I'm going to butcher the name, but Wujia? So it's a Chinese story. Wuzia, I'm sure I'm saying it terrible, is a Chinese storytelling tradition, to my knowledge, is a format, a genre from there. I've read a little bit of it, but not much. I know it's getting very popular in the West. All right, do we want to... Is the introduction... No, okay, the introduction is from the translator, looks like. Got a preface. Let's get to the actual prose. Okay, prologue, here we go. Oh, Junie, you're good. No reason to apologize. 4-6, you wanted to recommend Snow Globe by... if I can type, by Soy Young Park. So Young Park, maybe? 4-6, we probably won't get to it today because the list is so long at this point. But I will, you're a regular, and in celebration of your level 4 of the stream team, we'll go ahead and bump it to the top. So it'll be the first one we do next Wednesday. Or maybe we can sneak it in at the end today. We'll see. But if we're going to do that, I need to get to reading these. So we're going to do 3 more. Let's do that. We're going to do 3 more books. We're going to do Lovely Bones, one of mine, and then Snow Globe. If I did not get to your book today, guys, let me know next Wednesday, and I will put it right to the top of the list so we can definitely do it then. Keeve, what made me fall in love with books? I just read a lot of them really young. My mom read to me really young, and I read a lot as an only child. So didn't have siblings to play with or anything, so I read books instead. And I felt like I never really had a choice in the matter. I just loved books from as long as I could remember, essentially. Thank you for asking. All right, let's do the prologue here of City of Sin, Book 1, Rising Star. Oh, by, I should give the author, Darren Coe. Spring. It had always been a season that brought euphoria to many civilizations, transcending the myriad planes of existence. There were exceptions, of course. The legions of races, each with billions upon billions of creatures, tended to make for a fairly diverse crowd. But most planes enjoyed the warmth and color of a bright spring. The cosmos was exceedingly complicated, so much so that even the gods barely understood a fraction of it. Life and death intertwined with the energy of the stars, caught up in an endless cycle of creation and destruction to which mortal beings were blind. Most commoners saw the veil of stars as the heavens that housed the pantheon, considering them a mark of hope. Some preached that they represented the transcendent serenity of ancient times. A few sages saw within them the laws of existence itself, the light from the myriad planes of existence that shared the infinite void. These planes, too, had their own cycles of creation and destruction, but those were seen by a scant few. Spring was a typical season across most planes, but this specific one only had one other: autumn. In spring, all things thrived, the world a beautiful melody of green and violet. In autumn, everything grayed out, brought to a deathly silence as the world fell asleep. These seasons lasted a full 12 years at a time, defining long periods in the lives of those living within. Okay, I'll call it there for the reading. This is interesting, y'all. I've never analyzed a wuxia. I'm so bad at Chinese. You'll have to forgive me. Genre book before. And I know that there are very different constructs. There are very different accepted ways to write in it. Plus, it's been translated, right? So there's two filters going on here. There are cultural constructs for writing that I am not familiar with, and it's gone through translation. Now, the translation seems really good, so props to the translator. Shout out to... Oh, oops, sorry. I presented the author earlier, but that was the translator. So shout out to Darren Coe on the translation. I'm not sure who the author is. Oh, so their name is just in Mandarin? Not entirely sure. Non-Western characters that I cannot read. So I don't even know who the author's name is. I apologize for that. But we're still going to analyze it. So let's talk about it a little bit. If we get back, there we go. So this has given us a very introductory, overview of the planes of existence. It's introducing us to a very large universe with multiple planes, multiple civilizations, I suppose. And typically, I would say, well, this isn't hooky enough. There's not. I need to be asking myself questions, right, as a reader, questions that I want answered. Thus, I continue reading. But this is from a different cultural expectation, and it's been translated. There are different constructs here at play, and I do believe that this genre takes longer. It's not a speed read, right? It's a longer sort of thing. You're supposed to read it at a different pace. So this is almost like a cozy kind of introduction. I almost feel like I'm being gently zoomed in through a solar system down to where we're going to focus. And it being my first experience with it, I kind of liked it. It was interesting. I liked that it just kind of gave us a bit of an overview, kind of slowly zoomed into the world that we're going to focus on, and presented some interesting world building. Very interesting. Thank you for recommending it. That was a new one for me. All right, let's we got three more books, because I promised Junie we would do Lovely Bones, so let's do that for Junie before you leave. Pull up the cover here. The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. Rock on. $16,000 reviews on Amazon. Doing pretty good, huh? I've not read this. This will be new to me. Chapter 1. My name was Salmon, like the fish. First name, Susie. I was 14 when I was murdered on December 6th, 1973. Okay. Gotta pause. I don't like to break the flow of the reading when I'm going through these, right? But when there's something this good, you gotta call it out. Y'all, this is a classic hook. It's almost a two-parter, and I always love two-part hooks. I feel like they're a jab uppercut combo, right? Like, it gets your attention with "My name was Salmon, like the fish." That line is just a little bit off, right? It kind of catches your attention. You're like, all right, that's a little weird. And then to follow it up with "I was 14 when I was murdered." that is just a great 1-2 punch. It's unexpected, it's interesting, and most of all, it makes you go, wait, what? I need to read more to figure out what's going on here. That's the purpose of a hook. I might feel like I harp on it a little bit too much on these streams, but that's how you hook readers initially. You make them ask a question. You make them want to know more. This character was 14 when they were murdered, but they're telling us this story. I'm very interested in what's going on here, so I want to read more. So let me go through it a little bit longer without interrupting. My name was Salmon, like the fish. First name, Susie. I was 14 when I was murdered on December 6th, 1973. In newspaper photos of missing girls from the 70s, most looked like me. White girls with mousy brown hair. This was before kids of all races and genders started appearing on milk cartons or in the Daily Mail. It was still back when people believed things like that didn't happen. In my junior high yearbook, I had a quote from a Spanish poet my sister had turned me on to, Juan Ramon Jimenez. It went like this: if they give you ruled paper, write the other way. I chose it both because it expressed my contempt for my structured surroundings, a la the classroom, and because, not being some dopey quote from a rock group, I thought it marked me as literary. I was a member of the chess club and Kim club, and burned everything I tried to make in Mrs. Delminico's home ec class. My favorite teacher was Mr. Bott, who taught biology and liked to animate the frogs and crawfish we had to dissect by making them dance in their waxed pans. Objectively creepy. I wasn't killed by Mr. Bott, by the way. Don't think every person you're going to meet in here is suspect. That's the problem. You never know. Mr. Bott came to my memorial, as, may I add, did almost the entire junior high school. I was never so popular. And cried quite a bit. He had a sick kid. We all knew this, so when he laughed at his own jokes, which were rusty way before I had him, we laughed too, forcing it sometimes just to make him happy. His daughter died a year and a half after I did. She had leukemia, but I never saw her in my heaven. My murderer was a man from our neighborhood. My mother liked his border flowers, and my father talked to him once about fertilizer. My murderer believed in old-fashioned things, like eggshells and coffee grounds, which he said his own mother had used. My father came home smiling, making jokes about how the man's garden might be beautiful, but it would stink to high heaven once a heat wave hit. Okay, we'll stop there for the read, and we'll talk about it a little bit. Another book in the not-so-happy series today. We've had a lot of those. But a good opening. It makes us think of reasons to read more, questions we want answered, as I mentioned. Then goes in a bit to the character's life. So here's what they're doing here, right? This starts with that hook that I talked about I was murdered on December 6, 1973. It makes you go, wait, hold on, what's up? Tell me more about that. But while we're waiting for that answer, the author begins to give us backstory about the character. What I believe they're doing here, what Alice Sebold is doing here, is making you start to like the character. She's got this big flashy hook that we're like, boom, we're focused on it here. And while we're trying to focus on that and get answers to it, she's slipping in a little bit of backstory to the character, a little bit of personality, and it's creeping up on you. And that's how you make readers like characters, right? She's used the hook to buy herself time to get us to like the character. And then, if we like the character, if we feel we know more about the character, we sympathize with the character, we're going to want to keep reading. It's another way to do a hook. This is interesting. This is a big, bold statement hook followed by a more subtle character hook. I like it. I do not like the visual of our biology teacher making dissected animals dance in the waxed pans they use in class. That is objectively gross. But it elicited an emotional reaction from me, right? That's important. You love this setup, Jack Ann? Rock on. I think so too. Emerson, you said every book I've ever loved has made me go, wait, what? At the start? There it is, folks. There's your evidence. That's how good hooks work. They get your attention. Spectator, you said thanks for the review on City of Sin. You were driving, so you couldn't comment. It's not a quick read. The world is vast, but it's an adventure. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I enjoyed reading something new. Thank you for that. Junie, thank you for recommending The Lovely Bones. It's probably not my type of book, but I think it's quite easy to recognize that it's a good book, right? Like, they've done good stuff here in the opening. I would be inclined to read more. Ashley, we are our list is too long to do today. We're actually going to do 2 more books and then wrap it up. But come back on Wednesday. Next Wednesday is when we're going to do this format again. And recommend it to me, and I will put it to the top of the list for next Wednesday. That's the policy, folks. If we don't get to your book on one stream, just come back on the next one and remind me of that, and we will bump it right to the top. But get off my lawn, guy. You asked if I could do one of my own books, so we can do that. Let's do a quick poll, y'all. I want to let you decide which one we're going to do. So here are the eligible books, and let's see. I can create a poll in chat, I believe, if I remember how to do it. And let's see. Maybe we just do it. Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna do it low tech. I don't remember how to create a poll off the top of my head. So I am gonna say it is 8:27 a.m. where I am. We're gonna go till 8:29. I'll take votes and I'll just tally them here. So, y'all, of these 6 books, put the title in chat for which one you want me to read the intro for, and I will tally the votes. Presently, we have 1 vote for The Far Wild. Yeah, I'm sure I can do it in studio. I just I forget how to make the polls. I need to just... Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, you're reminding me. Uh-oh, here we go. I see an option for it. Quick poll. Okay, yeah, never mind, guys. Sorry. We can do a quick poll here. Let's see if I can set this up. Oh, no, that's not... Custom. I want custom. Oh, I can't create a new one before the existing one ends. That's unfortunate. I think there's a poll going that I accidentally started. I don't know how long it's running for. All right, well, we'll do it manual, but I saw I see everybody voting for my my accidental poll. All right, I'm just going to go off chat here. We got 1 minute left. Just type the title in that you want, and I'll tally them. We have The Far Wild has 1 vote. Paragon has 1. Warden has 1. The Far Wild has 2. Far Wild has 3. Far Wild has 4. Far Wild has 5. Early lead there. Goblin Road Trip, which Wriggly Little Hands up top, has 1. Far Wild has 6. 7 for The Far Wild. I think we have a clear winner. 2 for Wriggly Little Hands, 1 for Servant of Rage, 8 for The Far Wild, 3 for Wriggly Little Hands, 4 for Wriggly Little Hands. Hamstring just says 67. All right, so presently it is The Far Wild in the lead with 8-6 for Wriggly Little Hands. I'll do an extra 20 seconds for voting here. Y'all let me know, and that'll be the one we read. But I think it's Far Wild 8, Wrigley 6 at the moment, with 2 or less for the others. The Far Wild has another vote, and that's time on the poll. All right. Y'all asked for it. The Far Wild is our winner. Thank you very much for voting, everybody. We'll do the opening lines of The Far Wild. All right, so here's our cover. In fact, wait, we don't have to rely on this. We can go real big. I got this preloaded. It's my book. There we go. How's that? Shout out to Ivan Toth, my cover artist for this. Absolutely love the work he did. Or sorry, Victor Toth. Victor Toth. I have multiple Ivans who've done other cover arts. This was Victor's work. Thank you very much, Victor. I appreciate that. Let's do the opening lines. Chapter 1, Senecio. People say the far wild is where you go to die. You'll drown on the voyage there. You'll waste away from the bleeding fever. You'll get eaten by some monstrous beast. But what else can you expect from the masses? Their ambition stops with what's for supper. The far wild's where you go to die? Ha! The far wild's where I came to live. I don't want much. Just wealth beyond measure, fame beyond reason, and maybe a small kingdom somewhere warm. And as the quickest blade this side of the empire, with a devilish charm and the looks to match, I might add, It's only a matter of time before the masses are singing songs of my glory, singing songs of Senecio, Suleiman, Nicolau. But I've never been one for waiting, so of course I'd hired a biographer. A gentleman adventurer like myself requires someone to record his adventures. Someone skilled in wordplay, someone studied in the works of the great historians, and someone who, on occasion, makes for excellent bait. So there's our opening lines of The Far Wild. Jackie Ann, you said if Flynn Rider was an adult in an adult fantasy book. Yeah, that's pretty spot on. That's very much the vibe I was going for. So normally on the stream format, I would break down what I thought the author was doing. Since I wrote this one, I can tell you exactly what I was doing. I am trying to hook you on character with this and a little bit of setting. But setting is typically not the strongest way to hook someone. So I'm mainly doing it with character. So I'm trying to intrigue you with, people say the far wilds where you go to die. You'll drown on the voyage there. You'll waste away from the bleeding fever. You'll get eaten by some monstrous beast. And then I want to throw in the face of all of that. But if the far wilds where you go to die, why did this character go there to live? And then I sell you on the personality. I don't want much, just wealth beyond measure, fame beyond reason, and maybe a small kingdom somewhere warm. If you can't tell, Senecio is a very egotistical character. I think Emerson summed it up really, really well here with the comment, "Oh my God, this guy sounds so punchable. I love him." That's exactly how I feel about him. Very cocky, very egotistical, very fun. As I describe him in my pitch for this book, he's either the Empire's most beloved adventurer or its most successful con man. I leave it up to you to decide. Rich, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're recovering from Dragon Con. I know it was quite an adventure. Solstice, you're really, really good eye, my guy. They are, in fact, drop headphones. Sennheiser. They're Sennheiser brand, but they were sold through Mass Drop, which is rebranded to Drop these days. So yeah, you're spot on. Natural, you liked what we read of The Far Wild? Well, thank you. It's on Amazon, ebook, audiobook, paperback, any format you want. Please pick it up. I'd appreciate it. Thank you for indulging me for that one, reading one of my own on stream today. We have one more to do. Let's grab it. It is Snow Globe by So Young Park. Rich, you're conned out for the year. Well, hey, good news, man. I think there's not any more before the end of the year, so you can chill for a little bit. You've earned it after Lit RPG Con and Dragon Con in such close proximity to one another. Nathan, you asked for Scythe by Neil Shusterman. We actually did Scythe a little bit earlier in stream today. I absolutely love it. Such a good opening. If you want to watch the replay of that, by all means, you're welcome to. It's on YT. I can't say the website name, but the website you go to watch videos, it's got a red icon. If you look up author Alex Knight on there, my page has a live recording of this stream, so you can click right on back there and see us read Scythe. Y'all, I got a chance to use my Korean learning here. They've got Hangul characters here on the cover. I see SEUNOBOR/L. So that would be so no bo or bo. I'm not sure. Is that snow globe perhaps in Korean? I don't know. But I see Hangul characters. I get excited to read them. I'm very early in my learning of it, but just scratches the brain in a satisfying way. Anyway, Snow Globe by So Young Park. Oh, that's cool. Cool interior decoration. Part 1. Me. This email never works, and Alicia, or no, who said that? Yeah, Alicia. You think that's snow globe in Korean? I see so, no. But I don't see a globe, right? I don't see there's no G anywhere in here. It'd be SEUNOBOR/L. So no bor. But sometimes they don't always sound the same, you know? The word in Korean doesn't have to sound, like it does in English. So it could be. I kind of want to translate it now. All right. Snow Globe by So Young Park. Let's do the opening lines. In the living room, Grandma is sunk in her chair in front of her favorite TV show, a heavy quilt draped over her lap. I look down at the weather ticker scrolling away along the bottom of the screen. Negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a 3-degree drop from yesterday. A snow cloud icon trails the temperature, suggesting flurries throughout the day, and Grandma pushes herself out of the chair, shuffling to the electric space heater with the kettle in hand. My brother, Ongi, appears in the living room, wearing his standard morning look, a toothbrush in his mouth and a scowl on his face. It's a good line. I wish I were still in school, he whines, because schools close in temperatures below negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Just brush your teeth, please, I respond flatly, which comes out garbled as I'm still brushing mine, and turn back to the TV. As usual, Grandma has it on channel 60, the station that airs Go Around, round the clock. No, hear me out, Ongi persists, stepping in front of me and ratcheting up the grievance in his voice. I was 16 10 months ago when I was in school. I'm still 16 today, but just because I graduated, I'm now expected to endure this brutal temperature? His face is blocking my view of the TV. What does he want me to do about the weather? Stop spraying toothpaste all over the floor, would you? I snapped, suddenly irritated. Ongi is my twin brother, born exactly 10 minutes before me. He likes to pretend to be older and wiser, which is no end of laughable. He should know well by now that I only came second to make sure he got out safely. Kind of like a captain being the last one off a ship. I've been taking care of him since we shared a womb. Okay, this is wonderful. I do love the sibling relationship here. Getting a taste for the characters. Also, this is I've been watching a lot of K-dramas recently, and for some reason, this just feels very similar in the dialogue. Like I can't pinpoint it exactly, but like something about the way the dialogue is presented feels very similar. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I don't know. That immediately put it in my mind. Anyway, I'm very interested in what's going on here. The negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit temperature, that's pretty darn cold, y'all. Interesting. It's given me some sort of dystopian world vibes. I assume since it's called Snow Globe, something about perhaps they're insulated and their society's insulated in some sort of snow globe, but Ongi's complaining that they have to go out and endure these temperatures, so perhaps not. I'm not entirely... Maybe they have a job that takes them outside of the snow globe or something. Needless, I'm intrigued, and that's the idea of the opening, right? It's to intrigue the reader. Sung Moon, you looked up or you think that the Korean characters probably translate to snowball on the front? Okay. Yeah, I can kind of see that. B-O-L, you could read the last syllable as bowl. So, like, snowball. Could kind of see that. Anyway, it's a good opening. I like the morning dynamic of the family. It's fun. I want to know more about the world. The world building's got me intrigued. So a solid opening. I like it. Intriguing cover. I kind of I need to know more. What's the back cover blurb here? In a world of constant winter, only the citizens of the climate-controlled city of Snow Globe can escape the bitter cold. But this perfect society is hiding dark and dangerous secrets within its frozen heart. I'm intrigued. I got a taste for dystopian fiction. I'm intrigued. Enclosed under a vast dome, Snow Globe is the last place on Earth that's warm. Outside Snow Globe is a frozen wasteland, and every day citizens face the icy world to get to their jobs at the power plant, where they produce the energy Snow Globe needs. Their only solace comes in the form of 24-hour television programming streamed directly from the domed city. The residents of Snow Globe have everything: fame, fortune, and above all, safety from the desolation outside their walls. In exchange, their lives are broadcast to the less fortunate outside, who watch eagerly, hoping for the chance to one day become actors themselves. Oh, that's a fascinating concept. Chobam lives for the time she spends watching the shows produced inside Snow Globe. Her favorite, Go Around, starring Go Haeri, Snow Globe's biggest star. And, it turns out, the key to getting Chobam her dream life. because Hayri is dead and Chobam has been chosen to take her place. Only, life inside Snow Globe is nothing like what you see on television. Reality is a lie, and truth seems to be forever out of reach. Translated for the first time into English from the original Korean, Snow Globe is a groundbreaking exploration of personal identity and the future of the world as we know it. It is the winner of the Chongbi X Kakao Page Young Adult Novel Award. Kakao is like a website in Korea, right? It's like I know you can buy stuff. Is it like an Amazon over there? I'm not sure. Anyway, that's a really intriguing concept. Consider this a candidate for another one that I might add to my to-be-read list. Not that it needs to get any longer, but this is really interesting. I kind of want to mark this one as the one that caught my attention most today. Other name. That's a great description. It's like a post-apocalyptic Truman show. I could see that. It does seem very cool. Thank you for recommending. I think it was 46 that recommended this one. So thank you for that. Vic, JM3, you said Project Hail Mary. Oh, it's such a good book. Unfortunately, we are wrapping up the stream for today, but Vic, I have a request of you. Next Wednesday, we'll be doing this stream again, same time, 7 a.m. Central Time. If you come back and mention Project Hail Mary, I will remember that we didn't get to it today, and I will put it as a priority read for next Wednesday. One, because I love Project Hail Mary and would love to read the intro again. Two, because it's a good book and it does need more attention. So thank you very much for that, Vic. I would love to do Project Hail Mary next time. We've done it before, but it's a good book. It deserves to be done multiple times. So y'all, thank you very much for joining me. If you're here for the first time, I'm author Alex Knight. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time. On Mondays, we do author Q&A and writing help. On Wednesdays, I read the opening lines of your favorite books and break them down from an analytical, author's perspective. And on Fridays, we have the real fun stream. We make... That's not the right screen, Alex. There it is. We make fantasy maps live on stream. So please, on Friday at 7 a.m. Central, come on back, folks. I will be here, and we're going to be making maps like these here. I can only point to the top one because my camera cuts off, but this one, and the one down below, we'll be making maps like that live. And as always, if I am live, I'm always taking questions about writing, publishing, all that fun stuff. So please do ask. Always happy to answer. Thank you for tuning in today. If you enjoyed today's stream, please give me a follow so I can see you on the next one. Love to have you back. And as always, folks, if you enjoyed this community and want to hang out with us outside of stream, well, there are links in my bio to go to our Discord server, but I'm also posting it in chat now. Sometimes TikTok doesn't let it through. But if the link's there, feel free to follow it. Otherwise, you can go to my bio to grab the link. We got 200 plus members in the Discord now, so we'd love to see you there. Wonderful little community. Please think about stopping by and joining us. And as always, I post the list of books we went over today in the Discord in case anybody wants to look back on them all. And you can always find replays of my streams on yt.com. I'm not allowed to say the name because TikTok gets mad at me, but the video site, the video website. Find my profile on there, and you can find replays of all of my streams. Anyway, a special thanks to Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com for the use of his songs Farm, Manor, Cottages, and Northern Glade, which have provided our background music today. And as well, an extra special thank you to community member Raffi the Engineer. He popped by earlier today. He made our 5th background song, Midnight at the Round Table. Raffi, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Coach Kyle, it was a pleasure. Oh, Raffi's still here. There you go. Thank you, Raffi. Coach Kyle, thanks for stopping by, man. It was good to have you again. I hope you've been doing good. Feel free to come chat on the next stream. I want to check in with you, buddy. See how you're doing. Rock on, dude. Of course, I couldn't do this without my excellent moderators. A huge thank you to Melissa Lee 28, Raffi the Engineer, One Happy Harpy, Simp, 1X, other name wasn't available, aka Slindy, Leisha T, and Aaron Winnick. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. Lastly, if you've enjoyed this stream, folks, please give me a follow. I'd love to see you on the next one. We will be back Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time. We're going to keep working on the map. I'm super excited to work on that with y'all. It's a beautiful map we've been doing. And we will get to it again on Friday, so please come on back to work on the map with me on Friday. We'll take a quick question on the way out the door. Nathan, we didn't read Red Rising today, but if you mention it next Wednesday, we'll give it priority and make sure we get to it. It's a good book. It's a good book. I've read it. I've not read any more in the series, but I know it's a brutal, intense series. But some of my best friends love it. If you're thinking about reading it, give it a shot. It's a good book. User 147702434134151 says, as an estimate, how much does a full-time author earn? So that varies wildly. The vast majority of authors do not make a lot of money. To be a full-time author, you need to make a minimum amount of money to survive. I like to say I make about as much as you'd make from a low-paying office job. The trick is that it's never stable. It varies up and down based on sales, based on book deals, etc. In real numbers, on average, I make around $40,000 a year right now. Trying to earn more, I'm trying to build on that because, like I said, it's not stable. And I would like to be a little more comfortable, so we'll keep working on it. But I like to be honest with you also. There's my number presently, and I'll keep you updated as I try to grow that. And last question today, Carlos De La Rosa. Thank you for asking. Thanks for being here. You said, what do you do when you get writer's block? It's a fun one. I get this question a lot. I appreciate it. It's always a fun one, and I appreciate answering it. What I do for writer's block are two things. One, identify, do you have writer's block because you're tired, you've been working too much. If that's the case, take a step back. Relax a little bit. Step away from the story. More often, though, the case is just writer's block. And when that's the case, what I do is I set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes, and I write for the entire duration of that timer. No thinking, no second guessing, just hands-on keyboard writing during that time, right? By the time the timer ends, I often find that my writer's block's gone. I've kickstarted the creative part of my brain, and now I'm ready to go. That's my trick for it. Give it a try. See if it works for you. If it doesn't, come back and mention it, and we'll see if we can get you something else to try. But that normally works for me. So thank you for asking. Thanks for stopping by. And folks, thank you for being here today. I've had a lovely time. I hope you have too. Please give me a follow if you want to be here for the next stream. But until then, everybody, have a lovely Wednesday. Thank you for joining me today. And I will see you on Friday where we're going to make some fantasy maps live on stream. Until then, be excellent to each other. Arjun, you said, what books did I write? Here's my books real quick on the way out the door. You can find them all on Amazon and Audible as ebooks, paperbacks, audiobooks. Or you can go to the links in my bio. They're all linked there. If you were going to start with one, though, check out Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy in which the forces of good might finally have the Dark Lord beaten unless a bumbling family of goblins can complete his quest to retrieve his doomsday weapon. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip. Give it a look. It's pretty funny. I enjoy it. I hope you do too. Until then, folks, thank you for being here, and I will catch you next Friday, 7 a.m. Central for Fantasy Map Making Live. I will see you then. Be excellent to each other, y'all, and have a great one. I will catch you next time. Peace out.